Okay, so thanks everybody for being here. And if you can hang again 1 minute, we are having a similar Facebook issue, but I think, oh, it actually just started. So I guess that
Wow.
was a issue. We're also unfortunately having a pasting in the chat box issue. It doesn't seem as though the chat box is taking the things we're cutting and pasting. So we've got a couple people working on that. And if it doesn't work, David may have already mentioned he's going to share his screen. So I'm going to hold 1 more second just to see how is the chat looking, folks.
It's in. I put them in.
Oh, that's great. And they're showing?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. So I think we're good. And hello, everybody, and welcome to the Washington Revels, Carpe Diem Arts Daily Antidote of Songs. Super glad that so many of you could come in today. Very happy to see you. So hello to Barbara and to Steve in Baltimore, and to both of you, a big thank you for helping out with our funny chat function. Hi to Dion in Massachusetts, and Pete in Florida, Carolyn in Idaho, Deborah in Kentucky. Hello, Anne in the DC area, and Lisa in Indiana, and Kathleen in Albuquerque. And Jim Harkless, glad to have you here, a member of Jubilee Voices coming in from DC. Janet and Peter in Toronto. Nicola, I think for day 3, great to have you. Caroline in the DMV, Storm in Massachusetts, Annette in California, Claudia in the DMV, nice to see you. Judy in Ohio, and some new folks I don't know. It said Leon and Adele and Valerie, Catherine. Oh, Valerie, I know Valerie. She's one of my card makers. Nice to see you, Valerie. Melinda Barrel. Hello to Lynn in Connecticut, and Hindi in Toronto, and Alan in DC, Martha in Oregon, Dan in Virginia. Hello, Pam. I can't remember, maybe New Jersey, but I don't remember. Nice to see you. Gary in Massachusetts, Sarah, Rick and Sarah in the DC area, Nancy in Washington State, and some other folks popping in the room still, Joni and Adrian, and another Jim and Beryl in Chicago. Glad to have all of you with us today. Thank you so much for joining us. And also, I see Belinda, Lynn, Lee, and Kachina all also popping in the room. Hello to all of you. Hello also to everybody out there on Facebook Live. Really glad that you could be with us today. We are celebrating today that it is the evening of the harvest moon at 10, now I forget, 10:13, I think tonight, BST is going to be the fullest of the harvest moon, or the big moment. So we're having a moon song today in celebration of the harvest moon, and a moon song, in fact, that David has written especially for us to be able to sing a moon song on the harvest moon day here in this room. So that's pretty cool. And I think the lyrics are in the chat at this point, which is great. A couple quick announcements before I pass it over to David. There is a donate link in the chat box. And if you click on Daily Antidote in the drop-down menu, all the money goes directly to the performing artists. It is actually, the donations are actually what is sustaining this program at this time and what is letting us keep going and going. So thank you so much to so many of you who I know have donated, and to some of you on Facebook Live, I also know have donated. Thank you so much to everybody for that. My email also in the chat box. If you have questions, comments, or want to get on our daily email list, we send an email out every morning with the lyrics and the song leader, so you have that in advance. And I want to shout out myself as the tech person again, which is not actually why it's taking so long to let all of you in the room. There is definitely something quirky going on with Facebook and Zoom, and we are still trying to figure out what's going on. So also a quick message before I forget, tomorrow we're going to have Leah Morris in the room with us, and we are going to begin a sort of several-day celebration of our halfway through a year mark. So we're going to have singing with us for our halfway through the year mark, artists who sang with us in the very first week that we started back in April. So please do join us tomorrow and for the upcoming days. Now, I'm super excited today to be able to sing a song with an artist who I love and who has actually taken the time and the effort and the creative energy to pen something specifically to be able to do this with us in this room, or to, I guess, showcase it or debut it in this room with us. Super proud, excited, and happy. This may be the first Daily Antidote composition, actually. David Roth, welcome. We are really glad that you're here with us today. You're muted, though.
Very happy to be back, and the descriptive adjectives about what we're doing today, it left out the part where he's willing to totally stumble and trip all over this brand new song too. So let's, I think if you're not living on the edge every once in a while, you're taking up too much room. So it is wonderful to be back. And let me tell you briefly how this song came about. A few days prior to today, Joe emailed me and said, "Oh, next Thursday is the harvest moon. Do you have any moon songs?" And I wrote her back and I said, "Listen, if you know somebody, who has a slam dunk Harvest Moon song that you want to swap me out with on Thursday, October 1st, I'm happy to, take another date." And then I also said in that same email, but if you like, I would love this as an opportunity to try to write something. And I would totally leave it up to you. I can't promise I'll be able to just create a song like that. But it also happened to be Yom Kippur on Monday, the Day of Atonement. And what better way for me to spend than to get away from the distraction of food and to think and feel about music, So this all came about on the day of at-one-ment. And I think we didn't talk about this before we get on the meeting, Joe, but I forget. Do you want me to sing this all the way through? It's not terribly long. Or the songwriter, is reluctant to hand out lyric sheets, so because what he or she ultimately sees is the top of people's heads looking at the words, especially those of us looking ahead to see if we agree with them, versus taking in the song. So I'll do it any way you like. I could do little sections and sing it, or just sing it one time through and give people a sense. It's got a very lilting melody that repeats in the verse.
Should not have to do a screen share, so it means people should be able to look up and look at the lyrics. I think if it's lilting and you think folks could pick it up, you could just try singing it through, because we're gonna.
Let me sing it through, and then we'll come back and sing it together. Okay, does that sound good to you guys? Well, here goes something. First time out. As I said, I'll state the melody, and then off we go into the great What's Next. When the moonrise comes so quickly and the night has come alive, there is bounty in the planting, may our healthy harvest thrive. Healing light is sorely needed in this time of stress and strain. May I be a brighter beacon shining love on every grain. Darkest night is always looming, and the shadow is so long. I will reap what I am sowing, harvest moon, bring forth this song. For what nourishes the planting is intention and is grace. May the bane of what is harmful be abolished from this place. Flaming red it shines and shimmers, harvest moon unfolds a spell, seeking out the phantom places where the hardest hearts may dwell. Casting crimson in its vision, bringing passion and desire. May it be a time of changing transmutation from the fire. Darkest night is always looming, and the shadow is so long. I will reap what I am sowing, harvest moon, bring forth this song. For what nourishes the spirit is intention and is grace. May the bane of what is harmful be abolished from this place. When the moonrise comes so quickly and the night has come alive, there's abundance in the planting, may our healthy harvest thrive. Healing light is all around me in this time of disarray. May I be a brighter beacon, shining love in every way. Healing light is all around me in this time of disarray. May I be a brighter beacon, shining love in every way. Well, that's the idea, And for those of you who like to play along, I mercifully made this in the key of C, just for future reference, you know. So if any of you are instrumentalists and like to mess around on the piano, it's in the people's key of C. And I'm happy to go through it again. Do you think you have enough of it to sing with me this time? I'm looking at Joe for my cues here.
I think we should totally sing it again. And
Total.
I'm going to ask Steve if you wouldn't mind popping the lyrics into the chat again, because anybody who came in after you put them in won't see them.
Now I can share the screen too if that's easy.
Yeah, why don't we do a screen share this time so people can read along on the screen with the lyrics this time?
Yes, let's boldly go. But again, don't read ahead. Yeah, I actually heard. Okay, sorry. All right, so here goes something. I am going to go share screen.
Yeah, I had.
And I'm going to pick this.
We ran out of them. So
And it looks like this. Should see this on your screen. Everybody see Void's on the screen? All right. That's my font of choice today is Optima, because I'm an optimist. Right down to my blood type, which is B positive. If you can believe that, that's the truth. That's the truth. B positive. Who else? All right, here goes something. A little intro. Here we go. When the moonrise comes so quickly and the night has come alive, there is bounty in the planting, may our healthy harvest thrive. Healing light is sorely needed in this time of stress and strain. May I be a brighter beacon shining love on every grain. Darkest night is always looming and the shadow is so long. I will reap what I am sowing, harvest moon bring forth this song. For what nourishes the planting is intention and is grace. May the bane of what is harmful be abolished from this place. Flaming red it shines and shimmers, harvest moon unfolds a spell, seeking out the phantom places where the hardest hearts may dwell. Casting crimson in its vision, bringing passion and desire. May it be a time of changing, transmutation from the fire. Darkest night is always looming, and the shadow is so long. I will reap what I am sowing, harvest moon bring forth this song. For what nourishes the planting is intention and is grace. May the bane of what is harmful be abolished from this place. When the moonrise comes so quickly and the night has come alive, there's abundance in the planting, may our healthy harvest thrive. Healing light is all around me in this time of disarray. May I be a brighter beacon shining love in every way. Healing light is all around me in this time of disarray. May I be a brighter beacon shining love in every way.
David, that was remarkable. Thank you so much. Absolutely lovely. Can we all show David that we think his first run out with his song? So it looks like you got a lot of approval there.
Is it singable? That's my question. Were you able to sing along? Okay, good.
Yeah, very good group singing song. And I would actually say also very good reveling song, because of course revels, as part of what we do, we celebrate traditions, we celebrate the seasons. So the idea of what is going on in the seasonal universe is actually very important to reveling, and the idea of a darkest night or a longest day, all of those things are also very important to reveling. And I noticed all of that and thought it's so fitting and so beautiful. And the fact that you did it for the daily it means that I hope we'll find lots of excuses in Revels to use it moving forward. But I also want to say that I hear a lot of other stuff going on in that song, and maybe it's just me, and it's this political climate, and it's the fact that voting and politics are everywhere you look. But there was the bane of what is harmful. There was hard hearts, and there was changing and transmutation right in the month as we're all thinking about the fact that we would very, very much like to have a shift in our nation from potentially things that are harmful and feel very hard-hearted to something that is potentially, hopefully, more hope-filled and about changing and transmutation. So I'm wondering whether or not on Yom Kippur, that was also cycling through your head, or whether or not it's not.
Oh, absolutely cycling through my head, and I didn't know as much about the harvest moon on Sunday as I knew on Monday. So I did some reading and research, and I looked for inspirational quotes by well-known writers just about kinds of things, and I was reminded how you can take a simple phrase and make it so much more beautiful by making juicy adjectives and juicy nouns, and that's why I came up with some of the words in that second verse, the crimson verse, as I call it, as a nod to the great poets and writers of the past. But certainly, change is on my mind. That's just me.
Yeah.
And a few million other people. And yes, I wanted the prayer for this. I want us to grow something that is beautiful, powerful, healthy, and for everyone.
That's really great. Thank you. So for those of us who come into this room, in part because of the social justice singing that we have done, there's times in here where we're singing very intentionally and talking very intentionally about social justice issues. And then there are times like today where it is there and it is something I can take with me through my day, but we aren't discussing it necessarily or talking about it specifically, or the song isn't specifically calling it out, or we don't introduce it that way. But what I like to think is that a lot of what we're doing in this room, even on the days when we're singing about hope and joy, or when we're singing something seemingly silly, is we're actually all still singing and thinking about social justice and this nation right now in which some days I really don't even know what to say. I mean, like the adjectives. Yeah, what we won't do is we won't call David's song the Harvest Moon Daily Antidote of Song Tribute on Voting and Social Justice Issues, because that would be too long of a title. But there are a lot of other adjectives we could use right now in the world, whether they're hopeful adjectives or sort of, this is completely nutty and crazy and in another zone adjectives. But all of it was in there, David, at least for me, all that feeling, all that notion of the fact that we all look at each other in the face, and we, in some ways, we know what we're all thinking, even when we're not saying it. And so it's a really powerful thing to be in this room, singing about hope and change in some form every single day. And your song right at the top of the list on all of that. So thank you ever so much. And if you have anything else you want to share with us about what you've learned about the harvest moon in the last week, I would be happy to hear it. And otherwise, I was going to say, unless people in this room give me a thumbs down, I would suggest, rather than singing the chorus, that we go ahead and sing through the whole thing again before we leave. I see thumbs is up. So that's
Oh, sure. And I want to put a nod out to my friend Leon Schur from New Jersey. He's a cantor and an old friend, and he joined us. This might be his first time with the Revels today, but he wanted to hear the song when I posted the lyrics on. And by the way, it's the most meaningful and productive Yom Kippur I can remember in decades.
That's
for me. We'll get the lyrics up again. Leon, if you want to go ahead and transcribe that, have at it. I can painstakingly do it on Sibelius, but I would like to transcribe the song, and of course I'll get it to Joe, and anybody who wants to use it, please do. Try to get this out there.
Thank you. Thank you, David. Welcome, Leon. We're glad to have you with us. And absolutely, David, I'd love to put the lyrics and everything else that we've talked about today and the links and everything into the email for tomorrow so everybody can keep going. And if I get my act together, I'll send it out today instead of tomorrow.
So what happens? Do we sing it again and then we open up the talking to everybody? I forget how this works.
So sometimes we do talking with everybody and sometimes not. I have been watching the chat and haven't seen any specific questions, although I could have missed
Okay.
something.
Did
Um,
we solicit questions yet? I mean, not
so,
that I have any answers.
so do you want to say anything more about the harvest moon? Otherwise, I'm gonna, let's see. So there's definitely folks asking for the chords and the music, and someone saying they're thinking about the fires in the West. That was Carolyn. Thank you. Harriet said it's a wonderful Yom Kippur song and prayer. Let's see. Very singable, beautiful words. Thank you, David. Powerful. Deborah Denfield said she is actually, that it made her cry. Thank you, Deborah. Well, not thank you for crying, but you know what I mean. A gorgeous prayer, easy to harmonize on the fly. How can we get this? It's a keeper, lovely, and much, much more. And so what I can do is I can send you all of this beautiful stuff from the chat box after we close today. Okay, there's a little more. Social justice and hope have become harmonic with everyone's. Okay, wait, Amy Appleton, I'm going to have you unmute and say what you think because I think there's a typo. So if you're willing to unmute and say what you're posting, that's great. And Sarah Glasgow asks if we do have anything else to say about the harvest moon. So I might
Joe,
am not. Yeah.
Joe, sorry for typing on my phone. I was saying that social justice and joy have become like harmonic overtones to everything we sing here.
Thank you.
Echoing what you were saying before.
It's a much shorter way of saying it. Thank you so much, Amy. I'll just write that down and say that next time. Social justice and hope have become harmonic overtones to everything we sing together. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I love that. David, do you know or want to say anything more about the harvest moon? The only thing I know is that last night I went out and looked at it and I couldn't believe how beautiful it was. And I felt
the harvest moon, as I understand it, rises very quickly, more quickly than usual after sunset. So there's less of a time gap in between. So for me, it's almost like my metaphorical mind goes to it's a continuation of light even into the dark part of the night. Where that flipping over, that crossing over, isn't quite so pronounced. That the moon takes over for the sun. But I said everything that I wanted to say in the song. So
that's great. So for anybody else in the room who went out and looked over the course of the last couple of days, feel free to pop in the chat. So somebody already did. I saw it last night. Amazing. And somebody else said, somebody said voting is an act of spiritual warfare, which does and does not have things to do with the moon. Thank you. Nicola says it is too cloudy in the UK. I will say that when I went out and looked at it, I was struck by the whiteness of it, the sort of cleanness of it, the brightness of it, and also the flatness of it. Like sometimes the moon doesn't feel as flat. And last night it just felt like a big flat, like somebody had stuck it there. Also obviously very big. So I'm looking now to see David, keep the light going. That was from Leon Scher. Thank you, Leon, coming in from New Jersey. Sarah Glasgow said she looked out last night thinking she had left a light on, but realized it was the moon. Yeah, so for anyone who uses a little sleep mask, now is definitely the few nights where you want to wear your sleep mask. And folks saw it on their home. Let's see, it's Barbara says she saw it on her way home last night. It was a joyous welcoming back for us. And Leon says, may the light of love. Very nice, very nice.
So hey, I see Jim Harkness has his hand up too, so.
Please.
Joe, last night my son, who lives in Fire Island, posted a photo on Facebook of the harvest moon, and it was truly spectacular. In fact, one of the people who saw it thought it was the sun and mistook it for the sun. So what David said in terms of the transition is quite interesting, from the sun to the moon at this time of the year.
Jim, that's beautiful. Thank you. If you think of it, if you share it with me on Facebook, other folks might see it because a lot of the folks in this room have and actually for anybody in this room who hasn't friended me on Facebook, please feel free. You can find me. I think I'm Joe Rossi 9, and then you'll see Jim's post on my page as well. And I encourage all of you actually to be finding each other and friending each other in this room. It's an unusual virtual or one of the unusual things about a virtual community is that you're not talking to each other. Everybody's mostly just listening to me or listening to like ho-hum David. Oh, well. So if you guys find each other and talk amongst yourself, that makes it more like a real community. And of course, we have some occasions coming up. So for the card makers in the room, we're going to have card writing, cocktails and cocoa, virtual room. Anybody's still welcome to join and write a few cards and join us for that. But it would be nice to be able to hear from each other more. And Facebook is at least one way, despite what we might think about the other bazillions of other problems with Facebook, at least we can find each other there as well as here. All right. So I think, David, if it's okay with you, I am going to, oh, and Deborah says she's going to send a photo. Thank you. And someone else has suggested we have cider at our cocktails, cocoa and cider, which is perfect. And I will allow it because it is another C drink. And that is the only reason. All right, gang, I'm loving this. Can we go ahead, David, and sing through one more time?
Sure. I'm going to say a couple quick things. I'd love to connect with you on Facebook too, but my personal Facebook page is up to 5,000, and I'm not bragging. I don't know most of those people, but I just let them all in before I knew what I was doing. And my David Roth Music Facebook page is hungry for friends. So there's one called David Roth Music. Please go there and join if you're of a mind. And also, I'm going to put in the chat, if this works, yes, I have a concert coming up Tuesday night in New Jersey, but virtually from my house on Cape Cod. It's for the Troubadour Acoustic Concert Series, formerly the Minstrel Coffee House, a long-standing 40-year-old coffee house, a great venue, and they're hosting me on Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And sure, I'll play this one again and a whole bunch of other old ones and new ones. So if Tuesday night works for you, come on in. And again, Joe, I want to thank you for making me feel so welcome. This is my 4th time with you guys, and I'll thank my friend Reggie Harris for making you an offer you couldn't understand about this guy on the Cape. All right, so that's it. I think we're good there. And when you're ready, give me a thumbs up. I'll launch into this song again, and I'll do the screen share again. Just
so if you don't want to do the screen share, it's okay because the lyrics are in the chat.
Okay.
I'll take a minute to just highlight you so everybody can actually see you singing close up and personal.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so again, thank you all so much, and what a blessing for me. When the moonrise comes so quickly and the night has come alive, there is bounty in the planting, may our healthy harvest thrive. Healing light is sorely needed in this time of stress and strain. May I be a brighter beacon, shining love on every grain. Darkest night is always looming, and the shadow is so long. I will reap what I am sowing, harvest moon, bring forth this song. For what nourishes the planting is intention and is grace. May the bane of what is harmful be abolished from this place. Flaming red it shines and shimmers, harvest moon unfolds a spell, seeking out the phantom places where the hardest hearts may dwell. Casting crimson in its vision, bringing passion and desire, may this be a time of changing transmutation from the fire. Darkest night is always looming, and the shadow is so long. I will reap what I am sowing, harvest moon, bring forth this song. For what nourishes the planting is intention and is grace. May the bane of what is harmful be abolished from this place. When the moonrise comes so quickly and the night has come alive, there's abundance in the planting, may our healthy harvest thrive. Healing light is all around me in this time of disarray. May I be a brighter beacon, shining love in every way. Healing light is all around me in this time of disarray. May I be a brighter beacon, shining love in every way.
Thank you, David. Thank you so much. Absolutely beautiful. And actually nice and appropriate right in the send-off here. What I heard in the last sing through was the sort of personal responsibility in it that I missed in the first sing throughs, which is the may I be a brighter beacon, and how much of it relies on each and every one of us in this room and in this community. So David, thank you for a multifaceted, multi-layered song. And I also want to shout out, before I say goodbye to to Facebook, I want to shout out Mary, who comes in from Omaha nearly every day. I want to shout out Tiggs, who comes in from Connecticut nearly every day. But I also want to shout out whoever it was who was during that last sing through, somehow making little hearts float across the chat box of the Facebook, because it was like watching the little floating hearts and hearing the song couldn't have been any better. And thank you so much for however you managed to figure that trick out. That was beautiful. David, thank you again so much for joining us. Facebook Live, thank you again so much for being here with us. Really, really appreciate it. And I'm now going to shift over here as a way of saying goodbye to you so that I can actually